My HR director called me just the scheduler in front of the entire exec team. I smiled, said nothing, and watched her lose a $9 million hospital contract by Thursday. I'm 31. For the past 5 years, I worked as a workforce operations coordinator at a mid-sized healthcare staffing agency in Phoenix. Fancy title, unglamorous job. Basically, I was the person who made sure nurses showed up to the right hospitals at the right time with the right certifications on file. Boring? Sure. Irreplaceable? Absolutely. My HR director, Karen, and yes, her name was actually Karen, I could not make this up, got promoted 8 months ago after the previous director retired. Karen had zero background in healthcare staffing. She came from retail HR. She wore blazers that cost more than my rent and spent most of her time rebranding the company's internal Slack channels. We had a major contract with a regional hospital network called Sun Valley Health, $9 million a year. They needed us to maintain a 98% fill rate on their ICU and surgical floor shifts, and every nurse we placed had to have their Joint Commission credentials verified in our proprietary compliance portal, a system I personally built workflows for over 3 years. Last quarter, Karen pulled me into a leadership meeting I wasn't supposed to be in. She wanted to pitch a streamlined staffing model to the C-suite. I watched her present a slide deck that would eliminate my verification workflow entirely to cut overhead. When the CFO asked who currently managed credential compliance, Karen waved her hand and said, "Oh, that's just the scheduler. We're moving past manual gatekeeping." Every VP in that room looked at me. I gave them nothing, just a small nod, and wrote something in my notebook. What I wrote was 2 weeks, because I'd already accepted an offer at a competing firm. And Karen didn't know that I was the only employee with admin-level access to Sun Valley's credentialing integration. That access was tied to my work email, my security badge ID, and a third-party authenticator app on my personal phone. IT had been asking Karen to formalize a backup access protocol for months. She kept saying she'd get to it. She never got to it. I gave my 2 weeks notice on a Monday morning. Professional, clean, no drama. Karen barely looked up from her laptop, said she'd have someone shadow me to learn the ropes. The shadow was a 22-year-old coordinator who had been with the company for 6 weeks. On my last day, I handed over every documented process, every manual, every login for everything I had access to. I flagged clearly in writing that the Sun Valley integration would need new admin credentials assigned before the next billing cycle. Karen signed my offboarding checklist and said, "Great, thanks." The following Tuesday, Sun Valley's system kicked back 34 pending nurse placements because the credential sync had broken. My old access had been deactivated, no new admin had been assigned, and the integration just stopped talking to their portal. Shifts went unfilled. An ICU floor ran short-staffed for a night. Sun Valley's compliance team flagged it as a contract breach. They terminated the contract on Thursday and went to a competitor, which happened to be my new employer. I onboarded to my new job on Wednesday. Karen called my personal cell on Friday. I let it go to voicemail. She left a 3-minute message explaining there had been a system issue and asking if I knew anything about restoring access. I forwarded it to my new HR team and my personal attorney just in case. I heard through a mutual contact that the CEO ripped Karen apart in front of the entire operations floor. She was put on a performance plan the following week, all because she thought the scheduler was just the scheduler.